Well, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you for joining us. This is Lunchtime News. My name is Betty Kiptum and Anne Wangeshi is my colleague on the sign language interpretation. Now, the government has elevated research and innovation to a central pillar of higher education in a move aimed at strengthening Kenya's knowledge economy. President William Ruto says the creation of a dedicated state department for science, research and innovation signals renewed commitment to science, technology, engineering and mathematics training, as well as the commercialization of ideas into viable enterprises. Speaking at the State House, Nairobi, while awarding a charter to Bomet University, President William Ruto said the government plans to raise national investment in research and development from 0.8% to 2% of gross domestic product. With the award of the charter, Bomet University became the 36th public chartered university in the country. Kenya now has a total of 83 universities, serving nearly 630,000 students, a development the president said reflects the government's commitment to expanding access while improving the quality and relevance of higher education.
Bomet University takes its rightful place among Kenya's fully fledged public universities, an achievement built on years of academic rigor, institutional discipline, and unwavering commitment to quality.
This cohort has started senior school with a transition rate of 98.5% thus far. This high transition rate is attributable to strategic interventions by His Excellency the President that have eliminated barriers to access, such as costly uniforms and fees.
The award of this charter marks a historical milestone in the lives of our institution and affirms our shared commitment to excellence in higher education.
Instruments of authority. We pray over the charter, the mess, the seal.
Now, residents of Komothai Division in Kithunguri Sub-County have raised alarm over the rampant sale of drugs and other addictive substances. The residents are decrying what they say is the unchecked opening of alcoholic consumption centers. They are now calling on the county government not to license bars that do not meet the basic requirements to reduce the sale of cheap and dangerous alcoholic drinks.
Tunaomba serikali juu ya pombe ambazo zinauzwa katika hizi vilabu, hiyo imekuwa na shida na changamoto sana, sababu wale ambao wanakunywa hata hakuna kitu wanahusika na kukula, wanakunywa tu ile ambayo ikiingia kwa tumbo inaharibu kila kitu.
Hii imesababisha mpaka wameiba factory mbili, moja inaitwa Dhuita, ingine inaitwa Katuyo. Wameiba vifaa vya kahawa mpaka hizo factory mbili zimefungwa. Ombi langu ni
kile ningeomba county governor wawe wakipatiana barua hiyo ya masaa 24 ya pombe, wawe wakiangalia ni tauni ile wanapea hiyo barua ile vilabu ile wanapea hiyo barua iko tauni gani ama population iko gani.
And traders from Ruai roadside market along Kangundo Road are counting losses after an early morning demolition of the market. The traders closed Kangundo Road for the better part of Thursday morning, claiming the Nairobi County government has failed to construct for them a modern market, leading to perennial woes. They are now calling for the intervention of Governor Johnson Sakaja, saying a market previously allocated to them had been infiltrated by people they allege are goons.
Kama leo usiku tumeingiza misigo hapa na tulikuwa jana kwa DC na tukahakikishiwa hakuna soko inakuja kubomolewa, lakini saa 6 usiku wanakuja na matinga wanabomolea watu biashara, wanakanyanga vitu za watu.
Hapa ndio tunajua tunauzia, wateja wetu wengi wako huku Ruai, kwa hivyo tupangwe vizuri, hatutoki kama hatujapangwa period.
Asubuhi tumeamkiwa na matia gas manze, badala ya hizi matia gas kupiga wezi. Sisi hakuna mtu tumeibia. Sisi ni watoto tunatafutia.
Kama venye nimemaliza form 4 2019. Hapa ni hii soko imenilea. Hapa ndio imelea watoto wetu, ndio imelea wazazi wangu. Na ndio imeweza kutusimamisha mpaka saa hii. Hiyo kutufukuza si ati sisi yetu tunakatalia hapa. Si mali tunataka mwelekeo. Tunataka kuonyeshwa hapa ndio tunafaa kwenda.
Jana tulikuwa na waziri wa Sakaja anaitwa Nyolita. Tukaongea tangu saa 2 mpaka saa 9 juu ya soko. Tukimuuliza tukibomolewa usiku tunaenda wapi? Akatuambia suluhisho iko. Soko kuna soko tulikuwa tumepewa bypass. Soko tukilima bypass kuna wakora walikuwa wakiuza wakateka over.
Now, 12 bright but needy students have benefited from a full junior school scholarship from a foundation based in Nairobi. The scholarships come at a time when rising school fees have forced many families to pull children out of school, despite strong academic performance. With this support, the foundation will cover tuition and essential learning needs, giving these students a chance to continue their education without undue financial burden. The foundation says the initiative underscores the commitment to ensuring equitable access to quality education across Africa.
In our community right now, we noticed the need whereby a lot of learners are finishing their KBC exams, but they're really having a challenge in accessing junior school. One, because of financial barriers, and two, also because of the resources that are limited in schools. So Faro Foundation therefore comes in to intervene by providing a scholarship program that caters for all their resources, and it covers them for the next 3 years in their junior school education until they finish grade 9.
Mtoto wangu alifanya grade 6 na alipita mtihani vizuri. Lakini nikashindwa, mtoto hajaingia grade 7 kwa sababu ya shida ya karo. Na nimeona hii program ya Faro Foundation imenisaidia. Leo mtoto wangu ameweza kupata uniform, ameweza kuingia shule.
I had finished KBC just last year, 2025, and then I got the opportunity to come here because of my academic excellence.
And Somali and Borana community elders from the border areas of Garbatula and Lagdera have committed to living harmoniously, sharing grazing lands and collaborating to eliminate banditry and livestock theft. The elders are holding peace caravans along the Modogashe-Garbatula road to highlight the importance of peace and have even organized friendly football matches to strengthen bonds between the affected communities. Historically, the region has witnessed conflicts over grazing territories and water resources, particularly during droughts.
Bunduki irudishwe. Kama iko bunduki, vita hawezi isha.
And in Migori, residents of Mahena in South Sakwa Ward, that is in Migori County, are set to benefit from renewed access to water after a historic dam was built in 1952. Was rehabilitated by a non-governmental organization. The dam, which was unusable for decades, has now been restored to support domestic water needs as well as small-scale farming. So far, 20 colonial-era dams have been desilted in the region, while Migori County officials indicate plans are underway to partner with the non-governmental organization to introduce fish farming in rehabilitated water ponds to strengthen livelihoods and food security.
A dam purposely to see and to witness the handover of the dam after it had been rehabilitated by SOFCO. The SOFCO team is here. They have been running around. They have rehabilitated to the tune of 20 dams. And we are so grateful as a county to this team.
And he made a promise that he will enlarge the water pan so that it can be used for commercial use. That's fisheries. Also, the people around can use it in agricultural or horticultural produce.
This water pan has been here for the last or more than 70 years. That we had never seen any kind of activities going on. And since SOFCO came in, they have done a lot. And they've made actually this water pan. They're now two. It used to be one.
And the Meteorological Department is warning that 9 counties are at risk of acute food shortage in arid and semi-arid areas. This follows the latest forecast, which indicates some regions will experience average to below average rainfall during the March-April, May long rain season. The weatherman is further urging sector players to prepare for the extreme weather events by putting in place proper mitigation measures in anticipation of reduced rains in some parts of the country. Opicho Chamtai with the details.
With the country coming out of the October, November, December season that has been marked with severe drought in parts of the country like Lamu, Mandera and Turkana owing to failed rains, the weatherman says the situation is not about to let up during the March, April, May long rain season. According to the Met Department, some regions will receive fair to good distribution and others will experience poor distribution. This, the weatherman says, will impact negatively on food security, especially in the counties expected to receive average to depressed rainfall such as Machakos, Kitui, Makueni, Kajiado, Taita Taveta, Mombasa, Kilifi, Lamu and Kwale.
Rainfall is likely to be below average during the forecast period. Despite the depressed rainfall over the coast, occasional heavy rainfall events are likely to occur in a few areas.
We'll be promoting climate smart agriculture practices, mainly technologies such as conservation agriculture, water harvest, efficient irrigation system.
And on the flip side, the Met Department warns of expected heavy rains in other parts of the country that could result in flooding, landslides, waterborne and vector-borne diseases, urging players in the health, water and energy sectors to put in place necessary measures to avert any crisis.
That is on stockpiling of vaccines, wash and nutrition commodities, vector control commodities and isolation centers.
With enhanced rainfall, where we expect flooding, we are saying that there'll be need to repair the dikes in the flood-prone areas.
To optimize hydropower dispatch and to absorb the extra inflows into the dams.
The weatherman has also singled out 20 counties that are expected to receive above normal rainfall, urging them to prepare for the planting season.
In the course of the season, there are other drivers that are only predictable at shorter timescales, and they are likely to influence the weather patterns. That is why we therefore recommend that you stay updated with the subsequent forecasts.
Kenya Met Department Acting Director Edward Muriuki says in the MAM season, Lake Victoria Basin, the highlands west and east of the Rift Valley, which include Nairobi and parts of the northwestern region, will receive near to above average rainfall.
Occasional heavy rainfall events are likely to occur in several parts of the stated region.
Near to below average rainfall is expected over the southeastern lowlands in the northeastern. Meanwhile, warmer than average temperatures are expected over the whole country, with increased probabilities over parts of Lake Victoria Basin, coast, southeastern lowlands and parts of northeastern Kenya. The onset of MAM season expected to begin in March. Kenyans are being asked to be on the lookout and take necessary precautions in anticipation of the extreme weather events. Opicho Chemtai for Lunchtime News.
Now, scholars and researchers have warned about the rapidly growing influence and the misuse of artificial intelligence in the country, saying it risks affecting the quality of education and workplace productivity. Speaking in Nairobi during the launch of a book dubbed The Truth of the Hidden Word in the West Benjamin Owino, a young Kenyan author and a Cornell University alumnus, has cautioned the youth against over-reliance and surrendering creativity and critical thinking to machines at a time when AI tools are increasingly being used in classrooms and workplaces. At the same time, he echoed calls to parents to identify and nurture their children's unique strengths instead of imposing career paths on them.
For Africans and young people, we shouldn't be left behind. So it's actually very important that we learn and understand that AI is a tool and it's something we're supposed to use, not something that's supposed to take our work from us. In looking for the truth of the word hidden in the West, I am trying to find ways for people like me, Africans, to have a better understanding of how this language works and how it has changed from time to time.
I want to tell parents, let your children be what they want to be. If you've realized something, your child has been given a gift, like to me, I call this is a gift. If he has been given a gift, let them follow the gift. God has a way of directing them on the right path. Don't impose.
When throughout his study, he's been good in literature. But even with that, we didn't know that he could do what he has done.
And residents of Lower Ndaragwa in Central Ward, Nyandarua County, are set to benefit from improved water access, upgraded road connectivity, and new community facilities following the commissioning of several government-backed development projects. The initiatives, unveiled during a public engagement forum attended by local leaders and residents, include a major new water supply project, a modern school administration block built through the NGCDF, distribution of welfare support equipment to community groups, and ongoing upgrades to the Sharps Uruku Link Road. Leaders say the projects are aimed at strengthening service delivery, easing access to clean water, and boosting livelihoods in the area.
Muda mrefu sana tumekuwa tukilia, hatuna maji, hatuna stima, hatuna barabara, tumesahaulika. Lakini saa hii tunasema tunashukuru Mungu.
Mimi ombi langu ni kwamba tusiwapatie maneno mengi, tuachie maji, tuachie barabara, tuachie mashule mazuri, watoto wetu wasome. Hiyo ndio maendeleo.
Well, on that note, we take a quick break. When we come back, Lunchtime News continues.
Kila Jumamosi saa 1 jioni. Kila Jumamosi saa 1 jioni kuna sauti mbili zinazotawala anga ya habari. Dada wawili pacha, magwiji wa ulingo wa habari.
Karibu sana katika Dira ya Magwiji.
Magwiji kwa upekee wa sauti, mtindo na maarifa.
Katika enzi ya sasa iliyosheheni mabadiliko, tuko ange kukuletea taarifa, fafanuzi kutoka kila pembe ya dunia.
Jamila na Wanjiru wanakupeleka kwenye safari ya taarifa, uchambuzi na uhodari wa matukio yanayotikisa dunia.
Tunajizatiti kukupa taarifa sahihi na kwa wakati.
Habari kwa jicho la kitaalam.
Tuna hamu na hamamu katika kuuliza maswali stahiki yenye kuwajibisha.
Na sauti ya uhalisia.
Tupe sikio na macho kwa taarifa za kina.
Dira ya Magwiji, pacha wa habari. Kila Jumamosi saa 1 jioni hapa KBC Channel 1.
My name's Jung Gwonjong. I'm the boss of this entire hotel. My duties include heavy lifting, spreading happiness, and driving fancy cars. And I officially moved into the sunroom. You think you can cut my share of the rent?
Say what?
That day, she walked into my life. Hi. I met the woman of my dreams.
I'll take you home. I got the Maserati.
All the women in the club will be like sisters to me.
Respect is most important in a relationship. If a man doesn't respect a woman, then he's no man.
You add all the brilliant moments, or what we call miracles. Welcome.
Komoroka.
Kigumba ni kwa nguruwe, kwa mwanadamu uchungu.
Wazazi wamechangia pakubwa katika kuzorota kwa maadili ya vijana wao.
Wazazi wengi siku hizi wameachia watoto wao vijakazi ambavyo hawajui wanafanya nini, wanafunzwa nini, wanakula nini.
Ni mujibu wa kila mtoto kuchagua njia mwafaka.
Katika neno kaskazini,
maana ya shada ni nini?
Maana ya shada ni utiliaji wa mkazo katika neno.
Shada ni mkazo wa maneno katika matamshi.
Nahodha ameendesha merikebu vizuri. Ukanusho wake utakuwa nahodha hajaendesha merikebu vizuri.
Welcome back. You are watching Lunchtime News on KBC Channel 1. Now, a 68-year-old woman from Kamai village in Lari sub-county is facing eviction from the only land she has called home for over 40 years. Julia Wanjiru was settled on the land decades ago after her village was razed down and has relied on it to farm and support her family. She recently received a 60-day eviction notice from the head teacher and board of management at Kamai Primary School after her land was reportedly allocated to others. Julia also claims her crops were contaminated with poison, raising public health concerns, while residents and human rights advocates have condemned the eviction as unjust and are calling on the authorities, including the Kenya Forest Service, to protect her. Attempts to reach the head teacher for comment were unsuccessful.
Sisi ni hakuniambia nitokee hata nyumba kwa maana nimeongea hii maneno ya saba. Na nimeogopa hata kukata hii nyeni kwa maana sijui kama wanapiga au bado piga. Nilikuwa nikiogopa hata saa kukata kwa hii saba. Nimekuwa ninauoga kwa maana sijui kama anapiga au bado.
Saba yake ilifanywa madhara, ikapigwa dawa ya sumu, na hii ni nyani anatumia kukura na kuuza, na sisi nakuliwa na watu wengi kwa sababu ikiuzwa ina pengine itaenda Nairobi ama Thika, na watoto wetu wakimaliza shule wanaenda kwa town wakutane na hii chakula.
And residents of Komothai division in Githunguri sub-county have raised alarm over the rampant sale of drugs and other addictive substances. The residents are decrying what they say is the unchecked opening of alcoholic consumption centers. They are now calling on the county government not to license bars that do not meet basic requirements. It seems we had read that report. Apologies for that. Local and international investors have been urged to invest in healthcare provision, especially in facilities dealing with cancer cases. Speaking when commissioning the first ever Electa Harmony Linear Accelerator at RFH Cancer Center in Ruai, in sub-Saharan Africa, the RFH Healthcare Group Managing Director and CEO Dr. Maxwell Okoth highlighted the global significance of installing modern facilities of international standards for cancer care. Electa Harmony founder and president Dr. Laurent Lexel said that the commissioning is a practical response, bringing to advanced life-saving cancer treatment closer to the patients, regardless of their background or financial status. A little bit, we just move on to other news now. Youths from the informal settlements are now taking advantage of introduction of hands-on skills to train in various areas of specialization to realize their dreams. The director of BIPS, that is BIPS Technical College, Mukuhi Karimi, has loaded various youth who are now training on industrial relevant skilled training. She stated that for several years, a number of youth have graduated and are now earning a living.
Kajana ikiisha tulikuwa na graduation ya wale wenye walikuwa wamefanya diploma, which was ilikuwa ka small number ya 160, but ilikuwa inatufikisha wanafunzi zaidi ya 6,000 wenye wametoka BIPS Technical College, wengine wamejiwekea makazi na wengine wameajiriwa.
Welcome back to Lunchtime News. Now, Kambiaju area of Isiolo, in Kambiaju area, residents in Kambiaju area of Isiolo have slammed investigative and security agencies in the region, accusing them of inaction after one of their own, a 25-year-old Isaac Mutethia, was shot dead on Christmas Eve. Speaking at his home, the residents lamented that not much has changed since the fateful day, with gunshots filling the air even during the day, as criminals continue terrorizing residents. They accused the Isiolo Sub-County Security Team of failure to actualize their promise of fast-tracking investigations into the killing of Mutethia alias Tesh. They have threatened to continue engaging in protests until justice is served.
Na hakuwa mkora. Alisomea NYS last year but one ndio aligraduate, alikuwa anatafuta kazi. Na ndugu yangu hajawahi rokota vitu kwa mtu etuseme ameshikwa na wizi ama alikuwa na grudge na mtu. Wakati ndugu yangu aliuliwa ilikuwa 24 usiku. Christmas mimi sijakula na sijui Christmas inaitwa nini, nilikuwa kwa majozi.
Leo umeacha pengo kwa mzazi. Kaa ufikirie wewe mhalifu, ulitoa mtoto wa mtu kwa mama yake. Umemwacha na mateso ya roho. Umemwacha na kilio.
Hii jambo tulienda kwa hadi kwa security pale na tukajaribu kuongea nao na walituahidi kwamba baada ya masiku chache tutaanza kuona action imekuwa taken. Until leo hakuna kitu tumeona.
Kama walituongelesha na tukawapea muda wafanye investigation, wanapaswa kuresponde na watueleze wamefikisha wapi. Na mpaka saizi hawajarespond, hawajatuambia. Pia sisi itabidi sasa hata sisi tuchukue hatua na tuende mbele tukalalamike. Kama Isiolo County Security Team iwezi kutusaidia, tunaweza enda to the next level mpaka tupate haki yetu.
Moving on, local and international investors have been urged to invest in healthcare provision, especially in facilities dealing with cancer cases. Speaking when commissioning the first ever Electa Harmony Linear Accelerator at RFH Cancer Center in Ruai in sub-Saharan Africa, the RFH Healthcare Group Managing Director and CEO, Dr. Maxwell Okoth, highlighted the global significance of installing modern facilities of international standards for cancer care. Electa Harmony founder and president Dr. Laurent Lexel said that the commissioning is a practical response to bringing advanced life-saving cancer treatment closer to patients, regardless of their background or financial status.
Today we commissioned the Electa Harmony Linear Accelerator, a system capable of sub-millimeter accuracy, delivering IMRT and VMAT, shortening treatment times, reducing toxicity and improving completion rates. But more importantly, we commission a holistic oncology ecosystem, advanced radiotherapy, PET-CT and SPECT-CT diagnostics, chemotherapy and brachytherapy, nuclear medicine including lutetium therapy.
Early detection, prevention actually, early detection is coming to Africa. That means that the epidemiology of cancer will change.
And early marriage has long cut short the dreams of many girls in pastoralist communities. But in Marsabit County, a new intervention is offering survivors a second chance through skills and economic empowerment. Aaron Marie with the report.
It is a moment of relief and renewed hope for dozens of girls in Loyangalani, Marsabit County, who once fled early and forced marriages.
Changamoto kubwa tunayopitia ni ndoa za watoto. Na tunajua wasichana hao kupitia kwao pia watu wengine ambao kwa nyumbani wataweza kuona kila kitu kinawezekana.
After 6 months of technical and vocational training, the girls are now receiving startup equipment to begin small businesses.
Wengi wetu hapo awali tulipewa ndoa ya mapema. Sasa ndipo tukapata sponsor, katupeleka polytechnic ya license. Tukasoma 6 months, tukamaliza. Sasa tumepata vifaa ya kuanzisha na biashara.
Many of the beneficiaries are survivors of child marriage, a practice that remains common in part of northern Kenya.
Tunapoanzisha biashara, tutasaidia kwa vitu ndogo ndogo ili tuweze kuwasaidia wazazi na watoto pia.
The girls say acquiring practical and soft skills will not only help them support their families, but also protect them and other young girls from harmful cultural practices that continue to end their education early.
Kwa hivyo nafurahi watoto wetu amefanikiwa na hii shule. Sasa kitu ambaye naona safi kwa roho yangu, mtavutie watoto nyumba ambaye anakuendesha akufanya na hii kazi yao. Kuliko aende atangatange tena mali.
Parents and community members have welcomed the initiative.
These girls were survivors of child marriage, and for them to undertake a vocational course, it will give them a chance to acquire their soft skills in terms of knowing the skills on tailoring and also hairdressing. And it's also an opportunity for them to come and support their families in terms of improving their economic status and also safeguarding their sisters from harmful cultural practices.
For these girls, skills are more than tools for income. They are a pathway to future once denied. Reporting for Lunchtime News, I'm Aaron Marie.
Now, 800 grade 10 learners from Oloiser Senior Secondary School are set to benefit from infrastructural development, a project spearheaded by the government. Oloiser Senior Secondary School principal, that is Peter Kamau, noted that the addition of the new infrastructural facility will enhance learning outcomes of grade 10 learners due to improved learning environment. He added that the school has already embraced the new curriculum for grade 10 learners, who started learning smoothly.
From the day the boys arrived, I can say we are happy and learning together with them, because the CBE is all involving interaction with the learners. We facilitate as they also help us journey with them.
We have a very rich curriculum whereby we have actually done a lot of integration with the 844 system. We have been offering subjects like building and construction, technical drawing, electricity. We are offering power mechanic, home science, and we are very rich in sports and sciences, whereby we are using the local facility to implement things like network, swimming.
Principals in various schools have urged institutions offering scholarships in high schools to desist from discrimination during the distribution of funds to support learners. Speaking from Kisii and Nyamira counties, the principals noted that some institutions were losing learners to different schools following decline of sponsorships.
We lost about 12 learners who had secured scholarships, especially with Elim scholarship, that they had to be moved to other institutions because Samabuko was not on the list. This is why I could wish to appeal to those who have the scholarships to consider schools like Amabuko which have boarding section. So my appeal is that if all boarding schools, all schools which have the boarding wing, can be considered for the various scholarships like Elim, JKF, foundations, equity wings to fly, so that we can also put, we have been losing students not only this year, but even in the previous years, the 844 system, that they had to be moved to other schools where they can secure the scholarships.
And Jomvu Member of Parliament Badi Twalib has urged the national government to urgently recruit more teachers to address an acute teacher shortage in schools within the constituency. The MP warns the gap could derail efforts to achieve a 100% transition under the new education system. Speaking during a bursary disbursement ceremony for beneficiaries of his education scholarship program, Jomvu Twalib said the teacher shortage is threatening learning in local schools and called for immediate government intervention.
Nataka nitoe fursa safari hii kusema kwa serikali ni muhimu iajiri walimu zaidi kwa sababu kuna shortage ya walimu. Alafu vile vile katika mambo ya watoto kutokwenda shule, nasema kuwa hii mambo ya 100% transition lazima wazazi washirikiane na wale watu asasi za elimu. Serikali should come up na suluhisho ambalo tusizungumze tu 100% transition without supporting infrastructure.
Still on education matters, the county of Kirinyaga has intensified efforts to address menstrual hygiene challenges among the school-going girls through a countrywide sanitary pads distribution drive targeting vulnerable learners in the region. The program has so far benefited 3,173 learners as part of the interventions to enhance girls' access to education. County Gender Officer Sheila Mwangi, who indicated that nearly 3 out of 10 girls miss school due to menstruation, said the initiative is seeking to eliminate barriers that prevent girls from consistently attending school.
Tumeweka pesa milioni 30 ambazo zitakuwa zikitumika kusaidia vijana, kina mama na pia persons with disability na wengineo ambao wale tunaita vulnerable and common interest groups.
We have noted, especially in the poverty pockets, that girls are suffering and the parents are prioritizing other essential needs, putting sanitary pads on the periphery. This, therefore, is to curb that and ensure that all our girls are in school and are studying and are performing as they should be. Please also note that the boy child is not left behind. We have other programs that will involve boy child, especially in the second phase, and we are looking forward to such a program.
Parents are really crying that they don't have money. I know it will go far. Majority of them now will stay in school and will continue to cover the syllabus, and the curriculum will go on well.
And residents of Mwalimu Farm and Gatongora villages in Ruiru, Kiambu County are set to benefit from the construction of a modern bridge across Nairobi River. The bridge will form part of a wider road network being developed in the area to improve connectivity and spur economic growth. Ruiru Member of Parliament Simon Kingara says the government has responded to the long-lasting problem and is planning to construct a modern bridge across the river. Once completed, residents will no longer face threats from wild animals, polluted waters or delays, and the villages are expected to experience improved access to services and increased economic activities. The residents have been relying on a fragile makeshift boat made from floating items such as slippers and sacks to cross the river, exposing them to constant danger.
Ni eneo la kutishia sana hasa wakati wa mvua. Kwa hivyo ningeomba hii ijengwe haraka ndio tusije tukapata maafa katika eneo hili vile mvua iko karibu kunyesha.
Maji kwa mingi mtu hawezi vuka. Kuna mtu aweza kuwa na uoga labda ingie kwa maji. Hii mto iko na mamba na hii mto ni deep sana.
Kutoka Mwalimu Farm kwenda kwa administrator wetu kama kwa viongozi wetu itabidi uende uzunguke mpaka Ruai 40 kilometers, ambayo kwa watu wengi itakuwa ni gharama kubwa, watu wanashindwa kufuka.
Moving on, Pamoja African Alliance Party has suffered a setback after key NEC members ditched the party to join the Orange Democratic Movement Party. The former officials said they are following the president's advisory to fold small parties and merge with stronger parties to strengthen their political position ahead of the 2027 polls. Area Governor Gideon Mungaro, who welcomed the defectors, said the ODM is open to working with other leaders to spearhead the broad-based agenda.
Tuko katika broad-based government. Yeah. Na chama ni ngapi? Tuko na UDA na ODM. Ndivyo sivyo? Hivi vyama dogo vya vijijini, regional parties, vunjilia mbali kuanzia sasa.
Tunawaambia kwa moyo mkubwa sana kwamba tumewapokea kwa moyo mkunjufu na tuko na furaha sana kwa nyinyi kutuunga mkono katika chama cha ODM.
Now, students at Nasokol Girls High School in West Pokot County have benefited from empowerment program courtesy of the Embassy of Ireland in Kenya, while advocating for zero tolerance to female genital mutilation. Deputy Head of Mission at the Embassy of Ireland in Kenya, Evelyn Marie, noted the need to inspire young girls to pursue education and extracurricular activities while raising awareness about harmful cultural practices. More speakers at the event encouraged leaders to empower girls through science and sports.
We are trying to educate girls about FGM and how the anti-FGM is so important. It's global anti-FGM. We will be part of an EU project where we will be learning all about that, and the more advocates and supports for anti-FGM to get rid of FGM, the better, and we see how passionate people are here.
And now it's time for business news. Kenyans are being encouraged to embrace indigenous food crops due to their nutritional value, climate resilience and role in preserving cultural heritage. National Museums of Kenya Director General, that is Professor Mary Gikungu, says reviving indigenous crops is about protecting biodiversity and indigenous knowledge systems that have sustained communities for generations.
Rising lifestyle diseases, food insecurity and the impact of climate change has been weighing heavily on conventional food systems in recent years.
You can tell that the climate is changing, so we need to expand our plant-based, and these indigenous crops were really tough and could sustain the weather that is changing.
Indigenous food crops such as millet, sorghum, amaranth, cowpeas and traditional vegetables are said to be highly nutritious and better adapted to local weather patterns compared to those ones that were introduced from abroad.
Because the people were so afraid of eating our indigenous crops are the youth. So if we involve the college, at least they are part and parcel of everything, and they would sell what we are saying to other youths.
Things like millet, things like sorghum, things like the kind of leafy green vegetables that we're seeing a lot of today have those nutritional benefits and have been looked down on subsequently because of the people who are eating them, because they're kind of associated with maybe a lower standard of life.
They warn that increased consumption of refined foods is fueling the rising cases of hypertension, obesity and diabetes in Kenya.
When I talk about the arrowroots that we have, remember these are complex carbohydrates. They are better because they have micronutrients that are so important to our health, and the fact that the sugars are complex.
They were speaking during an exhibition aimed at promoting reintroduction of forgotten Kenyan crops into the national food system. Alan Auko, Lunchtime News.
And traders are calling for tax holidays of up to 12 months for new businesses and rebates tied to job creation to accelerate wealth generation and product promotion. The traders giving views on the proposed National Trade Development Bill of 2025, further rooted for harmonization of levies across counties to promote trade and standardize price of products across the country. The proposed legislation further seeks to harmonize business licensing and permits to eliminate duplication and regulatory hurdles.
Trade license, whereby they only pay the license yearly. But for those who come collecting the money, how would we trust them? And they are also human beings, that whatever total they collect is taken to the county government.
What we need in this county and across the country is job creation. Job creation will grow the economy.
This is a draft. The county, as we stand, will give our input and we will propose the necessary changes which will be geared towards supporting devolution.
You know, they're already marginalized, because if you're trading and using technology and technology and talking about sustainability, there's a bit of conflict, because first and foremost, availability of renewable energy, like green energy, the places where the products are coming from, how they're transported, how there's a huge gap in, connecting, aligning the bills and what is on the ground.
And a private debt fund has been launched in Kenya, seeking to bridge a 2.4 trillion financing shortfall, as well as ease pressure on traditional bank lending. The private debt special fund targets corporate, institutional and retail investors with a focus on commercial paper to finance growth opportunities. Lofty Coban Chief Executive Officer Stanley Mutuku says the kitty is expected to drive enterprise growth through alternative financing and strengthen non-bank lending across the region.
Billion Kenya shillings credit gap. Now this has to be bridged in one way or another, and that is one of the spaces that we are going to play. There are so many people who are looking at institutions looking for capital. They are not able to get it because of the stringent measures that are applied. But through a fund, we are asking Kenyans to come and participate in bridging that gap through lending to private institutions, but in a structured manner.
And dairy farmers are urging cooperative societies to adopt modern silage packaging to help preserve animal feed during periods of abundance and protect milk production during dry spells. The farmers say unpredictable weather and prolonged dry spells have reduced the availability of quality fodder and cutting milk production.
Sector is a critical pillar of Kenya's economy and rural livelihoods, contributing significantly to food and nutrition security, household incomes, and employment. However, the productivity and resilience of Kenya's livestock systems faces challenges such as climate change, rising feed costs, and limited access to quality inputs.
Hii ikikataa kuwa like ime compact ama imeshikana vizuri itaharibika. Na ikiharibika kidogo, unajua hii ya shimo itakutengenezea manyua mingi sana. Ukifikiria umeweka silage, unaweza kufungua ukute hakuna silage. So pia kuna ukalimu mkubwa juu lazima uite mtu wenye wako experts ya kuweka hapa chini.
As a result, dairy farmers often rely on low quality feeds or expensive commercial concentrates, which is pushing up production costs.
Bei ya maziwa itakuwa kawaida, itakuwa mzuri juu sasa hii itatoa maziwa mingi. Nayo imekaa kidogo juu imetumia miaka 4 ama 5.
Tutafute watu kama silage master wakuje ground, tufanye hiyo mpango, majani kuwe kingi, ndio pia hata cooperatives maziwa haitaenda juu, hata mkulima ataenjoy kufanya farming.
Ndota Mokami for Lunchtime News.
And the business community has renewed calls for the immediate clearing of pending bills and the ring-fencing of public tenders for local farms, warning that delayed payments and limited access to public contracts is straining enterprises, particularly small and medium-sized businesses. Public Investments and Asset Management Principal Secretary, that is Cyril Odede, says measures are being taken to clear outstanding bills and introduce more predictable payment timelines to restore confidence among suppliers. He says the government is considering a framework that will ring-fence public contracts worth 5 billion shillings for local farms and subcontractors.
Prioritize funding of Kenya Development Corporation, Kenya Industrial Estates. Government ring-fence contracts of up to 5 billion for local companies and local farms, and not just in supplies, but in locked contracts. In the PPP programs that you're running, we'd also want to see the participation of local companies, especially in getting subcontracts.
Government has taken deliberate steps to resolving this challenge, and we recently released 255 billion, and this is a clear signal of our commitment. The proposal for ring-fence contracts up to 5 billion for local farms, it is under active policy consideration to ensure that it delivers value without compromising competitiveness.
That enabling environment has to be created by government. So if we are able to ensure as government that the enabling environment works for our business people, then business will prosper.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And in the world of sports now, Omar Marmoush netted a brace as Manchester City thrashed Carabao Cup defending champions Newcastle United 3-1 last night at the Etihad Stadium to advance 5-1 on aggregate and set up a final clash against Arsenal. Manchester City began the match on a stronger foot as Omar Marmoush opened the scoring in the 7th minute before capitalizing on a Newcastle defensive error to head in his second in the 29th minute. Tijani Reinders scored his 6th goal of the season as City went 3-0 up before halftime with Anthony Elanga scoring the consolation goal for the Magpies in the second half. The result means Manchester City will head to Wembley to face Arsenal in a repeat of the 2018 final that saw the Gunners lose 3-0.
Thought he'd go on the right, but he goes on his left and scores a quite brilliant goal.
And Real Sociedad progressed to the Copa del Rey semi-finals after they overcame hosts Alaves 3-2 in an entertaining quarter-final match last night at the Estadio Mendizorroza. Ribach went into the score sheet first for the home team after 9 minutes before Mikel Oyarzabal leveled the scores after 7 minutes. Tony Martinez put Alaves ahead again from the penalty spot, but Gonzalo Guedes and Oscarson's late second half efforts ensured Real Sociedad's victory. The other quarter-final match saw Athletic Club eliminate hosts.
Still with Kamate, Bonny! It's the French connection. Attention.
And that is the end of Lunchtime News this afternoon. Thank you very much for keeping us company. My name is Betty Kiptum and Anne Wangeshi is my colleague on the sign language interpretation. Goodbye.
Prostate cancer remains as one of the leading cancers amongst men and is responsible for taking many lives and leaving scores of survivors.
The doctor opened it. I was looking at him. Then I saw his face change a bit. But for us laymen, the word cancer spells doom. The word cancer is death.
Being physically active, avoiding obesity, good diet, mainly red meat also linked to the onset of aggressive forms of prostate cancer, so reducing the red meat intake.
We went to India, he had the cyber knife, and that is the time, from that time, we had been close even before.
Yeah.
But I think this brought us even closer.
All treatment options are available locally, okay? Yeah. So there is no need for the patients to travel abroad for the treatment also.
Future dreams are to care for abandoned cats and dogs as I train Kung Fu harder.
The beauty and the wonder of everything we see.
What do you do with your grandfather? Well, today's book is all about grandfathers. Yes, all about granddads.
Today I'll be making for you chicken wraps. So here I have my chicken. I had cut them into strips. I have my wraps, cheese, carrots, onions, a bit of yogurt and my spices.
My name's Jung Gwon-jong. I'm the boss of this entire hotel. My duties include heavy lifting, spreading happiness, and driving fancy cars. And I officially moved into the sunroom. You think you can cut my share of the rent?
Say what?
That day, she walked into my life. Hi. I met the woman of my dreams.
I'll take you home. I got the Maserati.
All the women in the club will be like sisters to me.
Respect is most important in a relationship. If a man doesn't respect a woman, then he's no man.
You had all the brilliant moments, or what we call miracles. Welcome.
Je, wewe ni mpenda soka? Na je, wajua kuwa KBC mwenzi wako wa dhati michezoni anakujali? Ndio maana KBC Channel 1 hukuletea taarifa na uchambuzi wa soka.
CAF ndio wamechukua usukani
humu nchini, barani Afrika na ugaibuni, ikiwemo EPL, Serie A, Bundesliga na ligi zingine. Mashabiki pia hutuzwa kwa kujibu maswali kuhusiana na soka.
Swali letu la leo.
Haya yote ni kwenye kipindi cha Dunda Dunda kwenye KBC Channel 1 kila Ijumaa kuanzia saa 5 asubuhi hadi saa 6:30 mchana.
Nawahimiza Wakenya waendelee watch Dunda Dunda show.
KBC, wenzio wa dhati michezoni.
What if trash wasn't the enemy anymore? What if it was a gold mine, a resource just waiting to be transformed, even into cash? Now today, people turn waste into all kinds of things, but there's still a lot more we could do. And on that note, we've got some really exciting innovations on today's show. Welcome to Echo Africa. I'm Malama Mukonde in Lusaka, Zambia, and joining me from Lagos, Nigeria is my co-host, Chris Elands.
Hello and a warm welcome from me too. Yes, we've got a show packed with bold ideas and surprising solutions. Here's what's coming up. Batteries power our lives, but when they die, can we save them from landfill? In Burundi, scrap metal workers are protecting the public from toxic waste. And with the Humble Desert Date, women in Mauritania show what zero waste can look like. But we start the show in South Africa. Cape Town is full of life, not just on its streets, but in its nature too. An annual event brings people across the city to look a little closer, to notice the plants and animals that share their home. It's part of a global project that turns everyday people into nature explorers.
You don't need to know what it is. You don't need to know
a nursery web spider that is about to be spotted by a class of schoolchildren passing by. With the help of an app, 12-year-old Lakeisha and her classmates are identifying animals and plants in a Cape Town nature park.
I've seen lots of things. I've seen beautiful flowers, the pretty bushes, and I've seen this big snail that I kept in my hand, and that was fun. And the spider webs are just so much. Being here today is such a wonderful experience. It's so unique, and everything about it is just so mesmerizing.
Lakeisha and her class are taking part in the iNaturalist City Nature Challenge. The international competition takes place once a year. Any city can participate. It encourages local residents to get interested in nature and helps collect data too. Cape Town has been taking part for several years. During the 4 days of the challenge, entry to the city's nature parks is free. The parks support a wide array of species. South Africa is the third most biodiverse country in Africa. The Cape Town authorities welcome the competition.
The challenge and the iNaturalist app definitely helps the city of Cape Town to record the species that we find in our reserves. So as the staff, we go out and do bio-blitzes, we add species to the list, and this challenge, of course, helps tremendously because you're adding much more than you would on a daily basis.
The 2025 challenge saw more than 1,000 people take part in Cape Town. The city where two oceans meet also has a rich underwater world. The kelp forests are especially famous. The large brown algae is home to hundreds of marine species, sharks and octopus included. Amateur divers and snorkelers also get involved. Normally, it's mainly just scientists and tourists that get to explore this unique ecosystem.
With the field of science, which is obviously very interrelated with the natural environment, it can be quite exclusionary and not accessible to the average citizen. And what's so great about a challenge like this is that it sort of bridges that gap, and you've got like your local citizens uploading and taking pictures on iNaturalist and engaging with the marine environment. And in terms of the underwater world, I think that's even less accessible for a lot of people, and people don't really engage with it. So something like this, I think, gets people interested, and that inspires conservation.
The citizen scientists upload thousands of photos to the app. Taking good photos underwater can be challenging. Georgina Jones has taken part many times. She says it can be a rough ride.
Goodness, we've never had decent conditions. Every single time we've done the City Nature Challenge, we've had either super rough seas, super high winds, super low temperatures. This year we had, I think it was 10 degrees at the bottom, and not too dirty and reasonably flat, but it was hard. It was hard. We didn't have a lot of wind, so the tidal pooling was easy at least, but underwater was, as per the last 6 years, hard work.
This year, the citizen scientists recorded over 3,500 plant and animal species in the kelp forests, nature parks and city gardens of Cape Town.
The staff who's responsible then takes off the species that we've added for specific sites, and that helps them to monitor what species we have. They look also at what species might have been present in the past, and then if there's other management interventions that need to take place to bring back species that perhaps are missing, that we haven't seen in recent years, that's been in the past. So it does help.
Yeah, exactly. The data is especially interesting for scientists. The challenge offers a huge boost to research.
As we go into the future, we're going to use data in ways which we can't even imagine now. Things like the climate change questions, like early flowering, late flowering, and problems with, say, pyrethroids. Are our pollinators declining? Those are the sort of questions we're going to be able to answer.
The participants, whether young or old, get to have fun and become more aware of the fragile ecosystems around them. Myrna Schultz says passing on this awareness and enjoyment of nature is the best part of her job.
Biodiversity to the city is so important. Having these nature reserves in an urban environment, like today we have the kids being able to come and do environmental education at the reserve. I love that job. That's my job, but I absolutely love it. So that's quite important, having open spaces for people to come and relax, to walk, just having fresh air around them.
Every year, hundreds of cities worldwide take part in the challenge. Cape Town landed in 12th place this year, with 36,000 observations. Perhaps next year this class will participate again and make another great contribution to science.
We're Burundi in East Africa has abundant natural water resources, but millions don't have access to a clean drinking supply. Now, to make matters worse, a lot of the groundwater is being polluted by chemicals from scrap metals. Now, collecting this toxic waste and turning it to something useful is a hard process, but we met some people who are not afraid to get their hands dirty.
These men are disassembling car parts, and in doing so, protecting Burundi's environment. The small East African country lacks proper waste management. Old cars or car parts often end up in the environment. Rust, oil, and a range of toxic substances pose a threat to the ecosystem and human health. But this backyard business is part of a change in the country. Once these vehicles are dismantled, we separate the metals such as cast iron and aluminium. But it's important that we don't mix or combine them with other materials like oil. We carefully sort the metals for the factory and set aside the rest. After years of neglect, recycling is gaining traction in Burundi. People are realizing that waste can actually be a valuable resource. This is why George Nkunzimana runs this scrap heap and raises awareness with his workers. Burundi lies on Lake Tanganyika in East Africa, holding 16% of the planet's fresh water. It's the second largest lake by volume in the world. But littering and a lack of recycling facilities threaten the ecological balance and public health around the lake. Dangerous waste that's been dumped close to or directly into rivers can pollute